Welcome everybody to Bible Bites. I'm Pastor Dan, and we are reading through the Bible one small bite at a time. We're in Matthew chapter 21. We'll begin with verse 18 today. As I've mentioned in some of the previous readings and videos that we have done, Jesus is now in the vicinity of Jerusalem, and these are the last days of his life that we're reading about now. So Matthew records, verse 18, "In the morning, as he was returning to the city, he became hungry." This refers to Jesus. "And seeing a fig tree by the wayside, he went to it and found nothing on it but only leaves." The fig tree is a common tree in Israel. It's a fruit tree. It has figs on it that grows figs. "And he said to it, 'May no fruit ever come from you again.' And the fig tree withered at once." I recognize this seems like a harsh miracle. At least it does to me. But let's keep reading for the moment. "When the disciples saw the tree, when they saw it withered, they marveled, saying, 'How did the fig tree wither at once, or this quickly?'" Uh, I think they knew, but yet they're just amazed, right? And Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what has been done to the fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, 'Be taken up and thrown into the sea,' it will happen. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." So I'm aware that this, especially this last verse, which I just highlighted, whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. That verse, I believe, is taken out of context quite a bit. And people begin to preach that Jesus is really like a genie, that we just have to believe enough and we can ask anything and he's going to give it to us. I can tell you, I do not believe that is what Jesus meant. Otherwise, every Christian would have uh, all the things they ever desired in their heart, right? We'd have a plethora of wealth. We'd never be sick. Um, Or is it just the fact that none of us really have the faith that we need, to have all of that? So, what is going on here in this passage? Jesus is preparing his disciples to carry on the message that he had taught them, right? The body of truth that he had been teaching them. He's showing them and teaching them that they're going to be participating now, carrying out the glory of God, right? They are very much a part of that, and they are proclaiming and walking in the name of God. You can see all that in John 17, where Jesus prays for them and prays really specifically for the fact that they now are carrying on this ministry here on earth because Jesus would die and ascend to the Father. And the Spirit of Christ is in believers. He is a part of all that is done in the name of God. Uh, if it's truly in the name of God, right? There are many things that are done in the name of God, which is not what God wills or desires, not his plans or purposes or ways. But so here, Jesus is showing his disciples that they have great authority to carry out the plans, purposes, and ways of God, just as Jesus did. And what we see is that this is actually fulfilled in the ministry of the apostles. They did incredible miracles. Everything from even when people spoke against the church and spoke against the Spirit of God, they passed away right away. So the story of Ananias and Sapphira, you can read that in Acts. People were healed, but those that stood in the way of the apostles, those obstacles were removed, and those that bore fruit, right, unto God, who bore fruit through the message of the gospel, came to faith in God. They bore much fruit. And so I believe this is really what Jesus is speaking about. The church is built on the foundation of the good news of Jesus Christ, certainly the Messiah, but also the message of the apostles as they continue to carry that out. So I believe that's very much the context of what Jesus is stating. And I do not believe that Jesus is saying to all of us that, hey, you just got to have enough faith, right? Just conjure that up somehow. And no matter what you ask, I'm just going to do that for you. I don't think that's a carte blanche statement there that Jesus is making. But we have to rather understand this passage and what is going on in these days of Jesus' life and what he's doing to prepare his disciples for the ministry. He is essentially passing on to them. Of course, they are working with Jesus even when he's ascended to the Father, right? They are working with in a participation with the Father and with Jesus. But hopefully that's helpful for you today, and look forward to seeing you in our next video. Until then, be blessed.